message is emblazoned in blue, but it is trying to be green. Now this is the ActiveHybrid version of the 7 Series, of course. It has just driven into our market, and the whole intention really for BMW is not to look at any kind of volumes with this car. It's a nice flagship sort of a position, but more importantly, it's a nice precursor to the i8 hybrid sports car that arrives later this year. So what's this car all about? The details. The BMW ActiveHybrid 7 is a variant that the Bavarian company launched globally to fill a gap that it saw in its portfolio. It was first shown as a concept in 2008 and has been a production model for 3 years now. It combines a 3-litre inline 6-cylinder petrol engine with a 40 kilowatt electric motor, and its combined performance is more or less in line with a comparable 6-cylinder petrol variant, the 740 Li. And by the way, it offers only marginally higher fuel efficiency too. So it really is more of a prestige hybrid than one that makes a massive real-world difference, which is why it frankly makes more sense to just buy this. The 730 LD is the sole diesel offering of the 7 Series in India, and it is a popular choice for buyers as it is diesel and it's also locally assembled, and so is relatively less expensive than its petrol counterparts. The ActiveHybrid, despite being a direct import, is then priced fairly well at 1 crore 35 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi. Fairly well at over a crore. Yeah, I know how that sounds, but that's the thing. Even though the diesel is actually greener than the ActiveHybrid in mileage terms, the buyer in this segment isn't really thinking about frugality, right? The two cars here with us today are pretty much identical to look at. Of course, they're a different color from each other, but that's the whole point, that when you look at it visually, it doesn't sort of instantly tell you that this is a special model or a different model. In a way, that's a good thing because it's subtle. There's only one little branding out here on the side and at the rear of the vehicle that tells you it's a hybrid. On the inside, the layout is also very similar, but there is a hint of the even more high-end on the ActiveHybrid 7. Besides the model branding on the door sill and in the central console, the rear seats have a massage function. You also get a more sophisticated 16-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, but that's optional too. Basically, the equipment levels are very similar to the 750 Li and 760 Li. So the ActiveHybrid 7 is definitely better kitted out and it is swankier. Since I had both the cars with me, I decided to also compare them on the road. Of course, the idea isn't to compare apples to apples, or I should say apples to hybrid apples. It is very much apples to oranges, but I still wanted to get both the cars onto the show. Now there are a few subtle differences, of course. Throttle response, even the way the car feels and handles because of the difference in the weight between the two drivetrains. That part's going to happen because, like I said, we're not doing a like-to-like comparison. But having said that, again, the good news is in terms of overall performance, response, as well as handling, the cars really do feel very similar. So that is possibly reassuring and yet not surprising for many of you. And it goes back to the larger point I made at the start. The ActiveHybrid has been brought in as more of a flagship really, and to also better facilitate the launch of the i8 later this year. As far as technology goes, the i8 is a lot more green too. But the ActiveHybrid 7 will also help prepare the BMW network in India to handle hybrid cars. And so, to prepare for that car, this 7 Series hybrid variant is more like just one step in that direction.